Madam Chancellor, David Baines' unique contribution of academic and practical training in finance, coupled with integrity, curiosity, intelligence, and courage, demonstrates how a determined individual can contribute to improvements in the quality and transparency of business for all Canadians. Mr. Baines began his journalistic career after completing an honours BA in English Literature at Queen's University and an MBA from the Richard Ivey School of Business at the University of Western Ontario. After several years in the finance industry, Mr. Baines joined the Vancouver Sun as its securities columnist, specializing in white-collar crime, in particular securities fraud. Averaging 3 columns a week for 25 years, David exposed immoral and illegal business conduct in hundreds of different business situations. He focused not just on the perpetrators, but also on the regulatory environment that enabled their misdeeds and the professionals who facilitated them. In many cases, his exposés led to civil and criminal prosecutions, and in some cases, to game-changing regulatory reform. Not surprisingly, his writing was not well received by people who found themselves at the investigative end of his pen. BC Business Magazine dubbed him the most hated man in business. He was physically threatened on several occasions, and at one point, the Vancouver police announced there was a contract on his life. He was sued for libel 20 times. Not because he was reckless, but because he and the Vancouver Sun refused to be cowed by legal threats. On one occasion, he turned the tables and sued a group of promoters who had accused him of trading against his column. He won by far what is the largest libel award in BC history. Yet Mr. Baines never wavered from his purpose, to protect and promote the interests of ordinary investors. For his efforts, he received many accolades, most notably 4 national newspaper awards, 1989, 1998, 2000, and 2005, more than any other reporter or columnist in Western Canada. He also won a National Magazine Award for Best Business Article and 4 Jack Webster Awards for Outstanding Journalism in BC. Upon his retirement last year, the Jack Webster Foundation presented him with its Lifetime Achievement Award, BC's most prestigious journalism award. Author J.K. Rowling, speaking as Dumbledore, opined, "It takes a great deal of courage to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends." Mr. Baines wrote without fear or favor. In doing so, he improved business transparency and operations and made investing safer and fairer for all Canadians. We are truly honored to have him join us here today. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of this university, I ask that you now confer upon David Baines the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
David Baines, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. Dr. Baines will be hooded by Dr. Gordon Myers, Associate Vice President, Academic, and Dr. Tim Raleigh, Associate Vice President, Students.
Sorry? Is this his?
Yes.
Okay. It is with great pleasure that I now call on Dr. David Baines for his convocation address. Dr. Baines.
Thank you, Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the Senate, faculty, proud parents, friends, and most of all, BD School graduates. When President Petter told me I had been selected for this degree, I was delighted. I received many congratulatory emails, including one from a player on my old-timers hockey team. That is a well-deserved honor, he wrote. You will now be held in the same esteem as other people who have received honorary degrees. People like George W. Bush, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mike Tyson, and Kermit the Frog. The difference, of course, is that I got my degree from Simon Fraser University, which was named after a trailblazer and has distinguished itself as such ever since it opened 49 years ago. When it comes to honorary degrees, the value is not in the degree. It's in the university that bestows it, which is why I value this honor so much. I've been told that I have 5 minutes to speak. That doesn't seem very fair to me. Conan O'Brien took 23 minutes to deliver his commencement speech at Dartmouth. Among other things, he noted that several US presidents who had received honorary degrees had taken the opportunity to announce groundbreaking policy. Wanting to follow in their path, he announced what he called the Conan Doctorate. From now on, he said, all bachelor's degrees will be upgraded to master's degrees. All master's degrees will be upgraded to PhDs. And all MBA students will be immediately transferred to a white-collar prison. I can repeat that joke because I also have an MBA. But I can tell you it has changed my life in so many positive ways. I most certainly wouldn't be here today without it. But the more pertinent question is, where will your degree take you? In my 25 years as a business columnist with the Vancouver Sun, I watched hundreds of people use the knowledge and stature that their degrees provided to advance their careers, build their reputations, and enrich their personal lives. But I also saw many other people who crossed moral and legal bounds to gain personal advantage over others. I learned that there are many different ways to cheat, not only in obvious ways like manipulating a stock price or falsifying assay results, but in more subtle ways, like structuring an investment deal that is so laden with sales commissions, management fees, and sweetheart insider deals that investors are bound to lose. Over the years, we were able to publicly expose many of the people behind these schemes. Unfortunately, most of these people escape headlines, but they do not escape consequences. The business community has a remarkable grapevine. It knows who's being naughty and who's being nice. If you don't always act honestly and give good value, you will be quickly relegated to the fringes of commerce and of society. In my final column in the Sun, I touched on the subject of moral ambiguity, the difficulty of knowing when you have crossed a moral boundary. I'm not so sure about this. I think that many people purposely blur these boundaries to justify their behavior. I think that honesty is not so much situational as attitudinal. It's a state of mind. As my 102-year-old father says, either you're honest or you're not. Today is a wonderful day. We are all getting degrees. The difference is that I got mine without the inconvenience of classes. You had to work long and hard under great pressure, but you now have a credential that has value and will give value for the rest of your life. So my message to you is don't compromise it for some short-term advantage. Use it as a platform to advance your career, build your reputation, and enrich your personal life. Always be honest, always give value. Well, I see my time is up. Upon reflection, 5 minutes is more than enough. You've already spent weeks and months and years in classrooms, listening to professors, absorbing information, and formulating ideas. Now it's showtime. As Kermit the Frog said to the graduates of Long Island University, "You are no longer tadpoles. The time has come for you to drop your tails and leave this swamp." Thank you and good luck.